Give me a couple of minutes, guys. I'll just share the grade 10 recording in the channel. And wow, 156 people have watched so quickly. Not bad.
Mean by that? I am just me.
Let me share the recording. G10 session recording. I just post this recording in the channel in 2 minutes. Copy, paste. Okay, let's begin. Right. That's my mistake. You can ignore that. I'm lazy to go and change it. After 7 minutes, I'll go and change it. Okay. With the development of ICT, stealing and misuse of intellectual property has become a social challenge in the 21st century. Explain the intellectual property right briefly. Right. So let me explain all this in simple terms. Now imagine I have a house. I own a house. To prove that I own this house, tell me a document I can possess. Tell me a document I can possess to prove that this house is mine. Correct. Normally, if you take house, there's a document called as a deed. So using this deed, I can prove that that house is mine. Now, let's say I went to Kiel Super and I bought some stuffs. Okay. Now, when I come out, the security guard is like, "Oh, you have stolen these stuffs." I was like, no. How can I prove that I own that stuff if he caught me like that? I can show him the bill or I can show him the receipt and I can prove my ownership, right? So normally, if you take these tangible stuffs, the things that you can touch, feel, see, the tangible, right? If you take these tangible stuffs to ownership, okay, to prove your ownership for tangible stuff, you can have these bills, all those stuffs. But imagine you got an idea, or you got a, you have a business plan, or else let's say you have what do you call strategic process on how to do a thing. Okay, you have an idea, let's say, or you have a creation. For example, for example, let's say a song, a lyrics. Okay, now for all these creative stuffs, right? Do you get like these receipts, bills, all those stuffs? Do you get when you get the idea itself? Like when you are, let's say, you're randomly singing a song in the bathroom. That time, a bill comes throughout your brain. Ah, okay, here is a bill for your imagination killer. Do you get that bill, a receipt or something? No, we don't get. Okay. So those intangible properties are there, right? Those intangible properties are what we call as intellectual properties. The intangible properties, example like music, those kind of stuffs. Okay. Those are what you call as an intellectual property. Tell me, do you all get the idea of what intellectual? Okay. So you can mention this as The properties that are intangible, such as ideas, thoughts, discoveries, or even creative, like music or art. These are the intellectual property. I am so high on coffee. I imagine a bill coming out of the bathroom, traumatized travel. Why, Ben? Why live a happy life? Keep all of trauma away and come to reality. This is not delusional world. I delusional world once in a while, but here there is no delusion necessary. Anyways, now if you take this intellectual property by default, when you're buying the while you get the property itself, okay, can I explain that again? Basically, if you take intellectual property, the intangible stuffs you have now, deed and bill, they're actually tangible properties, but your ideas are intangible properties. So if you get an idea, okay, I can, for example, let's say mathematical equation. Let's say you created the equation for the first time. So when you create this equation for the first time, but you will not be getting a decision. You will not be getting like you get an idea in your brain. Okay, we can solve this question like this. But that idea, when that idea comes to your head, you will not get a receipt, no. But when you're buying stuff from the shops, you get a receipt. So the ideas, the things you will not get these receipts, these intangible properties, they are only your intellectual properties. Got it? In simple terms, just keep in your mind the intellectual, I mean, intangible stuffs. Yeah, the new recipes also you can consider that as an intellectual property. Exactly, delusion is the only solution. Anyways, to prove your ownership, to let's say you got an idea and you want to prove that this is your idea, you get a document to prove, okay, I am the first person who got this idea. What is the document we can go and obtain? It's some right, not copyright, another right. Yes, mostly for intellectual properties, the you can prove your ownership. You a document called as a patent right. So obtaining a patent right document. This is the method you can protect your idea. So, for example, let's say you got an idea and you have obtained the patent right. Now, if you go and test your idea, and if they copy your idea, you can sue them. You can put a case against them, right? So always when you get an idea, but they do is mainly business people and all those stuffs, like discover, inventors and all, they quickly could obtain the patent, right? So that no one else copies their idea. Got it? If you have any questions, drop in the chat. So that's the answer for that. Okay. Identify whether the following statements are true or false. Fine. Email is one of the service of the internet. Is it a service of the internet? Yes. If you take internet is one of the largest we have. Okay. So with the help of internet, there are several services you can obtain. Okay. The main service you obtain, how do you call that service where you can go and obtain any amount of, and you can go and visit many websites. You can go and visit many, what do you call, web pages. You can access web, what do you call, any information from the internet. What do you call that services? The ability to obtain any information from the internet. Yes, that service is called World Wide Web. Okay, so World Wide Web is basically that service where you can obtain anything from the internet. For example, accessing websites, accessing web pages comes under World Wide Web. World Wide Web is like imagine like a library. You have several books there. You can go and refer any books you want. Okay, so that's the main service we have in World Wide Web. Then, using what you called the internet, you are able to control one device from somewhere else. For example, let's say I have a laptop at home. I can control my laptop using a phone from wherever I am around the world, as long as both the devices have internet. What do you call that as? The ability to control one device from another device remotely. Correct. That is called remote access. Okay. That's called remote access. So, remote access is where you can control one device from another device from wherever you are in the world. Got it? Then, how do you call this service of where you can, let's say you don't know website name. If you don't know website name, you can go and type the websites, some keywords about the website, or let's say at least the name of the website somewhere, and figure out the URL of the web page. What do you call such applications as? We don't know the website name, but through these applications, you can figure it out. Correct. We call them as search engines. Perfect. Let's say I want to, what do you call, share your file, right? And I'm going to use Google Drive and I'm going to send you the PDF. What do you call this process as? Yes. Sharing the access of file, we call it as file sharing. Okay. File sharing is the ability for me to share you the access of a file. So for you to be able to access a file through the internet, it's called file sharing. But apart from file sharing, okay, let's say I'm going to, what do you call, give you the ability to upload file or download file. How do you call that services? File, the transferring of files. No, file sharing is mainly accessing files, but file transferring, we call that as like uploading and downloading files. We call that a FTP, file transfer protocol. So when you're talking about FTP as okay, here we are talking about uploading and downloading file, transferring files in simple terms, uploading or else downloading files. So you having the ability to upload a file or you having the ability to download a file, that comes under FTP, which stands for file transfer protocol. Then apart from this, let's say your ability to watch YouTube videos and live streaming, these all comes under Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or search engine applications. Yeah, yes, we call that as streaming of media. Streaming of media. Let's say I'm missing one more. What am I missing? No, social media comes with communication. One, two, three. Oh, it's communication. No? Now there is a part where you are able to communicate as well. Okay, for example, using internet as a communication, you can communicate with people. No, earlier days in the beginning stage of internet, let's say I wanted to send you a message. But earlier days, initially, what was actually even nowadays, officers and all they use it. What is it? What do they use? Currently, officers use that method to communicate with employees. Sometimes you might communicate with your school as well using internet. What is that? It uses internet, huh? Exactly. We use emails. But nowadays we don't use emails because email, I mean nowadays means like the latest generation, we don't use because there is like latency, all those stuffs. Instead, we use applications like WhatsApp, Telegram, all those stuffs. How do you call those kind of applications as? Correct. We call them as instant message applications. Okay, you want to quickly message someone, you can use those applications. Now, apart from instant messaging, let's say you want to publicize your life, you want to show what's happening, you want to share the happy moments of your life, all those stuffs, like applications like Instagram, Facebook, all those stuffs. How do you call those kind of applications as? Instagram, Facebook, those kind of applications? Yes. We call them as social media. Correct. Then we have these applications like Zoom. Now we are using this for having a meeting at the moment. Then we have Skype, all those stuffs. How do you call those type of applications as? Yes, we call them as video conference application. So in terms of services of media, okay, services, these are the main services we have: World Wide Web, remote access, search engine, file sharing, FTP, streaming of media, and communication. So under communication, all these stuff come. So when they tell you that email is one of the service of the internet, is it one of the service of the internet? Aisha, yes, it is. Yes, correct. Email is a service of the internet. So that's a true statement. Next, FTP full form, file transfer protocol. Okay. HTTP is used to transfer files. Is this correct? Is HTTP the protocol used to transfer files? No. HTTP is used to do what? No, not coding. Normally, when you want to do certain actions in the internet, when you want to do certain actions in the internet, there are some rules you have to follow. Okay. If you want to do certain transactions in the internet, there are some rules you have to follow, like guidelines you have to follow. For different purpose, there are different guideline books, right? For example, access web pages. If you want to access web pages or any information on the internet, we use this protocol called HTTP. So we are going to go through this rule book if you want to access web pages. Similarly, if you want to, let's say, what do you call transfer files, which means if you want to upload files or download files, for this, what is the protocol? Correct. We use a FTP protocol. Let's say you want to send emails for email sharing. What is the protocol we use as per your syllabus? Yes, there is a protocol called the SMTP protocol. This is what we use for email sharing. Okay. Let's say when you're accessing certain web pages, you get this 404 error, 501 error. If you might have noticed when you're accessing certain websites, you get these error codes, right? This error handling on the internet, that's done by which protocol? Yes, that's done by the ICMP protocol. Let's say when let's say there are two devices, okay? When two devices are connecting with each other, or when they're forming a connection, right? There's a protocol that is being used. What is it? Yes, that's the TCP IP protocol, right? So whenever what you call a protocol is what you see, two devices are going to first time connect to each other. Initially, not only computers, it can be any device. For example, imagine you're going to connect your laptop or computer to, let's say, Wi-Fi. When you're connecting your computer to the Wi-Fi, what will happen is you'll be sending your IP address to Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi will give you another IP address. When they're transferring this IP address, they follow a protocol called the TCP/IP protocol. Okay, this is a protocol which is being followed. So protocols are like these rules which you have. It's like a rule book for different purpose. There are different rules that has to be followed, and these are the purpose I have given. Here are the respective protocols. So as per this question, they have said HTTP is used to transfer files. That's false. HTTP is used accessing web pages. And then when transferring files, what is the protocol we use? ICMP stands for Internet Control Message Protocol. Yes, FTP. Got it, all okay? Okay. IP address is used to identify a web page uniquely. Is that statement correct? Actually, when it comes to identifying uniquely, okay, when it comes to this word called identifying uniquely, you can identify, there is a way you can identify the computers or the devices on the internet uniquely. There is a way you can identify web pages on the internet uniquely. Web pages or any resource on the internet, like an image or whatever on the internet, you can access it uniquely. And there is a method you can identify websites uniquely. Now tell me, to identify computers on the internet uniquely, what do we use? Every computer has something unique to it. What is that unique thing which it has? Correct. IP address is something that's unique for every computer on the internet. And then to identify web pages, like for example, let's say I take Master ID website, it has home page, schedule page, resource page. For every page, I have something unique. What is it? Correct. Every page has a unique URL. This link is there, the link you have at the top. The link is going to be unique for every page. And then to access websites uniquely, what do we have? Like Master Maths website, Master IT website, Master Academy website, Master Online website. Killer. For every website, we have something unique. Correct. That is the domain name. Okay, that is the domain name. If you're wondering what is the difference between web page and website, a collection of web pages forms a website. Got it? So Master ID is a website. Under Master ID website, you have the home page, you have the, let's say, My Schedule page, you can have the classes page, killer, you can have multiple web pages in that website. Is that clear, all of you? Got it? So based on that, tell me, is this statement true? No, that statement is actually false. IP address is not used to identify websites. To identify websites, we use web page, we use URL. Okay. To identify IP address is mainly used to identify computers on the internet. Protocol is a regulation system in computer networks. Is that statement correct? Is that correct? Yes. A while ago, I told you that as well. Protocols are like rules and regulations you have to follow. The rules you have to follow. Okay. So the word rules and regulations defines the same idea, no? So yes, that is true. Okay. Protocol is a regulation system you have to follow. For different purpose, there's different rules and regulations that has to be adhered. Clear, all of you? Perfect. Okay, while I'm teaching, if you all want, I can copy these down. I'll be anyway sharing all this PDF version. But while I'm teaching, if you all want, I can just note it down. I mean, just and keep, I'll be giving you the PDF later. Because these are the things you have to take. Anyways, next. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is where, without using your computer to store data, to process data, all those stuffs, without using your computer. Let's say you're going to use another computer and you're going to access this computer using the internet. Okay. You're going to store the data and process the data using another computer, and you're going to communicate with this computer using the internet. That whole process is cloud computing. So, for example, let's say what do you call? You're going to go and uh, you'll have used ChatGPT, right? Now, when you use ChatGPT website or whatever, you go and ask a question from ChatGPT. Okay. Now, when you go and ask this question from ChatGPT, there's a processing part that's happening. It has to go and it has a big database containing data. It has to go through that data and find the answer. So that processing part, is it done in your computer or is it done in this computer? The word it means I'm talking about ChatGPT. Exactly. It's done on the ChatGPT server computer, right? Not on your computer. So in that case, that's a sort of cloud computing. Your data is being processed in that computer, not in your computer. They use supercomputers and all for ChatGPT. Anyways, got the idea of what cloud computing is, Amita? Okay, perfect. Let's go for this next question. Which type does this belong to? Like software service. ChatGPT software service. Can you explain again? Okay, listen. Normally, if you take a computer, while you're using a computer, mostly you might use a computer, let's say to store your data. I mean, the hardware in your computer is there, right? The hardware in your computer will be used either to store data or else to process data. The storing and processing without using your personal computer, right? Without using your personal computer, if you're going to use another computer, right? And let's say you're going to access this data with the help of internet, then this is cloud computing. So for example, let's say you're going to store your data in Google Drive. If you're going to store your data in Google Drive, that's cloud computing. Clear? Also, for example, let's say you go for Master Online website. And when you go and click on add to cart, for example, let's say go for a lesson. Okay, let's say I go and click on a lesson where I say, if I go and click on this lesson, wait, let me go for another account. If I go and click on add to cart here, there's a part that shows loading, right? And after it shows loading, it added to the cart. Now you can see the cart is showing number one in the top right side corner. When I go and click on the next lesson, it's loading and it became two. Okay, it became two. Now there's a part of processing that data. When I go and click on the button, it's processing, right? That processing is not done by my laptop. That processing is done on the server. Okay, where this website is stored. This website is stored on a different computer. On that computer only, this processing is done. So this is a service of cloud computing. Did that make sense? If you're going to do these two things without doing in your computer, if you're going to use another computer to do it, and you're going to communicate using it, simply this is what cloud computing is. And if you take cloud computing as a service, right, there are three things, three services of cloud computing. The three services are varying on who is obtaining the service. Okay. For example, we have one service called as infrastructure as a service. Then we have something called as platform as a service. And finally, we have something called software service. Majority of the time, if you take software service, what about Google Drive? Is it cloud computing? Yeah, it is cloud computing. Okay. Any website But yeah, keeping that thing aside, what do you call if you take this infrastructure service and platform as service, these are mainly two services. Let's say a developer might obtain. But if you take software service, this is mainly an end user might obtain. I'll give you a simple example. Now let's take the Master IT website or Master Online website. For example, I'm going to take the Master Online website. To use the Master Online website, are you like downloading that website as application and using it in your phone or laptops? Are you downloading Master Online website as application and using? You're accessing using the browser. So for you to access through the browser, if you take Master Online website, am I storing this website in my personal computer? Am I storing it in this computer? No. I'm going to store it in a server computer. We have coming soon. Okay, I'm going to store this in a server computer. So, for example, if you go for this website called Master IT, Master server, I have actually bought it from him. Okay, you can see there's something called hosting here. I have obtained a server from here. Okay, so I pay for them and I get a storage space. If you notice here, I have unlimited SSD space. Okay, I have unlimited storage. I can go into anything. So basically, Master IT website, Master Online website, and couple of my websites are stored here, right? So if you look at this scenario I have here, I'm I am obtaining. It's me. Okay. If you take me, I am obtaining a service from register.lk. I am obtaining a service from this application called as register.lk, right? This service which I am obtaining is something called as infrastructure as a service. Most you take infrastructure as a service, it is like a place I'm obtaining for me to go and put whatever I have created. Okay. And I can make you able to access it. In simple idea, in Master IT website, I'm storing there. Okay. If you take the service I'm obtaining, mainly I'm storing my data there and I'm processing my data there. The service I have obtained from register.lk is there, right? That is actually infrastructure as a service. Is this part clear? I have got the infrastructure of storage and I have got the infrastructure of processing my data from register.lk. See, to process my data, they give me 4 GB of RAM. To what is RAM used, right? Okay, to store my data. And here they're not told about the exact CPU specs. But if I go for WPS hosting, they might show my CPU specs as well. See, two CPU scores and all those stuff is there. Okay, so that's what is infrastructure service. Now that is basically talking about this website. But if you go for this website called house.mastermax.lk, to create this website, I did not actually go and do any codings. No Master IT website, Master Online website. This website we did coding. For this website, we did not do any codings. We just dragged and dropped and made this whole website. So it's like complete drag and drop scenario. There is this application called Google Sites. You can go to just Google and search for Google Sites. Okay. Using Google Sites, you can drag and drop and you can create a website. Right. For example, you can see here. Let's say I want to make a website here. No, okay. Infrastructure is basically mainly storage and process. This is like you obtain the core, you obtain the process, you're obtaining like the complete hardware. I'm obtaining the hardware, the infrastructure. You know what the infrastructure, right? The word infrastructure here we're referring to is the hardware. If I'm going to obtain the hardware, if I'm buying hardware, if I'm buying a storage space, if I'm buying a processing thing, it's going to be an infrastructure service. Most of the time, infrastructure service is not an end result. For example, after I buy the server itself, you don't, but you all are obtaining that you all are not obtaining the infrastructure. You all are actually obtaining a software service. For example, from the Master IT website, let's say you're able to obtain, you means I'm talking about student. So let's say a student is able to purchase classes, watch recording. You're able to obtain a service, no? Okay. This service, the end result mostly, but you're obtaining service at the end user. This is a software service. You're going to use an application through the internet. You're using Master ID as an application to purchase class. You're using Master ID as an application to record, to obtain recordings. You're using Master ID as application to get some resources. Okay. So YouTube is a software service. Google Sheet is a software service. All the websites you're coming across on the internet is a service. You're obtaining a service. It's like an application that's giving you a service. You're able to get a service from that application. That's what software service is. Clear? Got the difference between software service and infrastructure service? Infrastructure, I'm just getting the hardware. There is no application, there is no website or whatever. It's just the hardware I'm getting. Okay. I'm just getting some hardware specs. But if you take software service, I'm getting an actual application, okay, which I can start using. Abdurrahman, if you repeat that question, I'm going to put you out of this meeting. Huh? If I'm ignoring that question, there's a reason. Don't spam. Is Google site free? Yes. Now let me tell you about platform as service. If you take this Google as example, okay, to create my website, I don't have to do any codings. I can just drag and drop stuff. For example, let's say I want to include a button. I just click on here button, give a link for the button, and my button is done. Boom. Without any codings, I have a button ready for me. Let's say I want to include image. Just click on this, click on this, click on this. Okay. Now I'm using this website. Let's say I'm using this website. Using this website, I'm going to create another website. Okay, using this website, using one application, I'm going to create another application. So we can call this as platform as a service. I'm using this as a platform to create another thing. So when I go and click on publish, I just give a name for the website and I'm going to publish it. So now the website I created, see how fast I made this website. You don't have to pay. See, within few seconds, I just made a website. Done. Khalas, game over. This is the website I made. And it's public. If I share this link to anyone, they can access this website. Okay. So this is a platform as service. Platform as service where you're going to use one application to create another application. In simple words. Got it? So a developer using site is like platform as service. I'm obtaining a platform, but I can use to create something else. Is that clear? The idea of the cloud computing services. Whoever who asked me, coming who asked. Right, next. Okay. I didn't understand platform as service. I'll tell you a simple example. Imagine, let's say I'm doing a business where I'm selling burgers. Or yeah, burgers, right? Let's say I'm going to Keel Super. I go to Keel Super and I'm going to buy my raw materials. For example, I'm going to buy, let's say, flour. I'm going to buy chicken. I'm going to buy vegetables. All these raw materials I'm going to buy from Keel Super. And I'm going to create a submarine or burger. And once I make this sub burger, let's say I'm going to sell it to the customer. So I'll put this as me. I'm going to put this as customer. So the service I'm is that I'm obtaining some raw materials, right? This is infrastructure service. After I obtain the infrastructure, I create a product and I sell for the customer. So the service the customer is obtaining from me. The service this customer is obtaining from me is that right? That's like a software service. He's getting the end from me. Is that part clear? Got these two ideas? Let's say there is a business. Okay. This businessman, what is he going to do? You're the infrastructure. I am not the infrastructure. I mean, I can't say I put this for the arrowhead. The service I am obtaining from Keel Super. I'm buying from Keel Super raw materials, right? So the service I am obtaining is called infrastructure service. Customer is obtaining an end product. Okay. The customer is obtaining an end product. So end product is actually a end product is actually a software service. Now imagine there was another fellow, a good businessman. He was like, he's lazy to create the burger from scratch. So what is he going to do is he's going to obtain a burger from me. Okay, I'll call this a businessman. He's going to buy burgers from me and he's going to modify that burger. He's going to add more fillings for that burger. He's going to do the nice packaging for the burger. And after he does that modification for the burger, he's going to sell this burger for a customer. Now, is this businessman, is he a consumer? Is he going to eat my burger? No. He's obtained the burger from me to resell it. So the service he's obtaining from me is platform as a service. He's not going to create from scratch. He's going to obtain a place where he can, let's say, put things together and modify things. And then custom obviously obtain an end product. No. So it's software service. So a platform as a service, you don't do it from scratch. You don't get the whole full power. You get like a half power. And using using one application, like you can create another application. Simple. So this Google site is actually a platform as a service. Using Google site as a platform, you can create this website. So this accessing this website is software service. Accessing this website is platform as a service. This is a platform as a service. This is software service. Clear? The relationship between you and the website development software is platform as a service. I'm only developing the application, man. Here, me is basically developer. I'm referring me as to developer. I'm only going to develop the application basically. Canva and all are platform as service. We don't actually consider platform as Canva as a platform as service. We consider Canva as a software service because you're using that to get your end result, right? You're getting a final design. Or you're using what is the purpose of Canva? To create design. Using Canva, you're going to create another system. Mostly you take software service, you're going to create another software. You're going to software service. You're going to create one application using another application. It's not just so Google site is platform as service. Yes, Google site is a platform as service. This is a platform as service. Accessing this website is a platform as service. Accessing this website is a software service. Result. Yeah, at the front of you, I made this website. No, didn't you see me making this website? Did I pay for this website? Did you see me paying for this website? It's public, man. You go to the search in the internet. You type this URL, you can access it. Then the link here in the chat, I'll put the link. Just go and click on the link. You can see the fresh website I made at the moment. Okay, perfect. Coming back to this question, programming. Infrastructure, creating a product, selling application. No, infrastructure is the buying the raw materials. Me buying raw materials is equal to infrastructure service. Buying hardware. If I'm buying the core materials, imagine to build a house, if I'm going to go to the hardware and if I'm going to obtain cement, sand, stones, that is infrastructure service. But without buying the cement, sand, stones, imagine if you certain shops. I mean, not in Sri Lanka, in Japan, actually, you don't have to build the walls. You can actually buy walls without buying the cement, sandstones. You can buy walls and pile the walls together, and you can form the house. So that's like platform as a service. Building the whole wall. I'm just buying the wall and I'm going to fix them together like a building blocks. That's platform as a service. Okay. So if I'm going to obtain something from scratch, like I'm going to make something from scratch, the raw materials, keep in mind raw material. If I'm going to obtain raw materials, it's infrastructure. If I'm going to obtain end product, it's software service. If I'm going to obtain like templates, or if I'm going to obtain like half products, like for example, let's say, you have these pre-cooked items. Let's say if I'm going to go to Keel Super and if I'm going to buy all the, fly and make samosa, that service I'm obtaining from Keel Super is that's infrastructure service. But without doing that, let's say if I go to what you call Crescent, and if I buy this pre-cooked food, you have this pre-cooked samosa, pre-cooked, you just have to just pre-fried, what do you call it? Yeah, pre-cooked, right? You just buy it and you can fry it and sell. That's platform as a service. I'm not buying the whole raw materials and making. I'm buying the pre-cooked one and I'm cooking it and selling. Got it? Last time you made a cake while explaining. Actually, I made a cake, I made burger, I made submarine, I made basically all the food items were created. So the experience cloud computing 1,000 times. It's another basic stuffs actually. Anyways, got the idea? So if you're obtaining raw materials, it's infrastructure. If you're obtaining a pre-built item, it's platform as service. If you're going to obtain end product, it's software service. Ah, yes, I just for basically the models. Good try that. What will Windows blah 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 blah? Huh? That's irrelevant here, mate. I'll tell it later. What chapter is infrastructure? These are all related to grade 11, lesson number 3. You think I'm so jobless to talk about this so much? Because these are questions, but you got that will come for exam. That's why I'm spending time into explaining you this. Islam said that you're over talented and you can cook. Why is that bugger publicizing too much of my personal data? Yes. 11:30 now. Fine. Write the output of the following part of the Pascal code when b equals 3 and a equals 8. When you get Pascal programs and when you're asked to show the output, there's an easy way you have to do it. Okay. What you do is you're going to draw something called as a dry run. So let me show you how you can draw the dry run. To draw the dry run, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one column each for every variable we have. Okay. Variables are used in a program to do what? Now, this vast stands for variable, no. In a program, variables are used to store what? See, variables are used to do what? Yeah, the answer itself. So used to do what? Correct. Variables are used to store data. So look at this whole, if you look at the whole program, you can see there's a variable called A, variable called B, and variable called X. So I'm going to have one column for A, one column for B, one column for X. For every variable, draw a column. Then what you're going to do is for every what you call process, you can include a column. For example, I'm going to have a column here. Is B greater than or equal to 3? I'm going to have another column asking, for example, is X equal to 0? What I've done is all the conditions I've included them as columns. Okay, first of all, I included all the variables. Then I include all the conditions. Finally, I'm going to have one common column for the output. Now let's go to the program. There's error in this program. What is error in this program? Let's see if I can identify the error. There's a very big error in the program. Uh-huh. Error number 1. The value of B is not given. So we're now going to check is B greater than or equal to 3. You're going to get error. This is the first error. The value of B is not defined. Second error we have here is what do you call we are asking the user to enter a number. After the user enters a number, we're going to store that number user entered inside the variable called A. And then here they have mentioned X is equal to X mod 2. Have they told us the initial value of X? No. Technically, this has to be A mod 2. I pity the people who actually did this question in reality. But in the question, they said B equals 3 and A equals 8. They have told that But as per the program, that has to be mentioned. Like there has to be a part asking input A, input B, like input an integer and store an B. Like there has to be that the program has to include that part where it's asking for B and A. But technically in this question, see, they're asking for A, just like how they're asking for A. See, just like how they're asking the value of A, they'll ask for B as well. So let's assume that B is being asked here, okay? Because there is a mistake in the program. Let's assume that the value of B is being asked. Okay. So if the first thing they're asking is the value of B, and let's say the question says to use the value as 3, I'm going to mention here the value as 3. Imagine that the same sentence was there in the top as well here. But instead of readln A, let's say it was readln B. Tell me, do you understand what I did here? Do you understand what is the error in this program and what did I do? The error in this program is basically the value of B was not defined. So when I say is to check is B is greater than or equal to 3, I'm not asking the user to enter B. So that's why I said, first of all, let's assume that we're asking the user to enter and we're going to store that value. So now we know the value of B is 3 because that's given in the question. Now we are going to check is B greater than or equal to 3. When I'm running this condition, tell me the first time when I'm checking this condition, is the value of B greater than or equal to 3? Is it going to give me true or false? And there has to be the word called do here. So many mistakes in this program. Correct. The first time I'm running this program, it's going to give me true. So I'm going to check if it's true, tell me, will I come inside this loop? Will I come inside this section? If it's true. Yes, I told you all, remember the World Trade Center. While true, continue. So while the loop is true, you're going to continue, right? So when I come inside, you have input and integer, and I'm going to read ln A. So in the question, what is the value we have asked? They have asked us to store as A. Yes, you can see they have asked us to store as A as the number 8. So I'm going to take A as 8. Then I have mentioned here, X is equal to 8 mod 2, right? What you mean by this is divide 8 by 2, okay? When you divide a number in long division, you have a value you get in the top and bottom, right? The value you get in the top is called the div value, and the bottom is the mod. So 8 div 2 is equal to 4. 8 mod 2 is equal to 0. Is this part clear, all of you? Div and mod difference. Div is you're going to get the quotient, and mod you're going to get the remainder, right? So tell me, what is the value of X based on this? What is the value X is going to store when you say A mod 2? A mod 2. Yes, in mod B, divide and find the remainder. So when you divide 8 by 2, the remainder is 0. So X is going to be equal to 0. Now when you check if X is equal to 0, then write ln A plus 1 is odd number. Okay. Now tell me, when I'm checking that condition, is X equal to 0? Will that give me true or false? That give me true. If that condition gives me true, tell me, should I display this statement? Or write ln is used to output something. Should I output this statement? Yes, because the statement is true. Because if a condition is true, you execute the instruction. So it's true. No? So I'm going to write in. Write in is used to display something. Okay. I'm going to write ln A plus 1 is odd number. Now, if A is 8, A plus 1 is how much? Yes, A plus 1 is 9. So the output will be 9 is an odd number. Be the first output which you can see. Is that clear, all of you? There is no space right there, so I wrote it here. But the first output that is visible. A plus 1 is 9. 9 is an odd number. Now we're going to go for the next instruction. B is equal to B minus 1. Again, what we're saying here is the new value of B is going to be equal to the current value of B minus 1. Now, based on this, tell me what will be the new value of B after you execute this instruction. The new value is going to be current value minus 1. Yes. If the current value is 3, 3 minus 1 is going to give you 2. So the new value is going to be 2. Right? In a while loop, once you're done executing the instruction, you'll again go and check the condition. Now, when you go and check, is B greater than or equal to 3? Now, B is 2, no? So if you go and check, is 2 greater than or equal to 3? Will the instruction give you true or false? Correct. That is going to give you false. So if that while loop condition gives you false, are you going to continue the loop? No. You stop the loop. So out of the loop, there's nothing else. So when the program ended, the output we have is 9 is an odd number. Is that clear, all of you? Did you all understand how I found this answer? I just went step by step and figured out the answer. Anyone having any questions here, respectively? Okay. Don't worry, in Pascal, you will not get very difficult question. You'll be getting like these basic stuffs only. Like asking to find the output of the program. Table is not necessary. I just used it to make sure that the answer is precise. Better use the table. That's the right answer. After finding the answer for B, then the question is asking the output of the fourth program. So output is 9 is odd number. Simple. From here, the program stops. When the while loop gives you false, when this condition while loop gives you false, the loop stops. So out of the loop, this is where the loop ends. Out of the loop, there is no any other condition before the program ends. In the example, they ask to write the codes for a program. There is very less chance where they ask you to write the whole Pascal program. They'll always give fill in the blanks question or output. Anyone have any doubts related to this question? Something else? Sir, I did not understand your question. What was your question? But anyone else having any doubts regarding this? Okay, if there's anything, drop in chat. Okay, perfect. Next. Name the two color models used in digital graphics. Right. When you take digital graphics, there are two main color models we have. What are they? Correct. When you take digital graphics, the two color models we have are okay. The two color models we have are one we have a color model called as RGB color model. The second one we have is something called as a CMYK color model. Okay. RGB stands for red, green, blue. CMYK stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and key. Key is normally black color. Okay. You don't have to think about that in deep. But RGB color models, they are mostly used in screens. For example, your TV screen, your mobile phones, laptop, desktop, mostly the screens you come across, they use RGB. Where is CMYK mainly used? In which scenarios are CMYK used? Correct. CMYK is normally used in printing scenarios. Okay? CMYK is normally used in printing scenarios. Is that part clear, all of you? These are two color models we have, and these are respective purpose. Even newspapers, yes, they are CMYK. Even your tubes which are printed are CMYK only. Cover page is RGB. Actually depends. So certain you have two printers. One printer does RGB color cover page, another printer does CMYK. There is very big color difference. Is that clear? Got the idea about color models? Certain projectors CMYK, certain projectors RGB. Depends on the ones. Next. Not exactly. You can WhatsApp me, I'll tell you. The HTML tute and the spreadsheet tute is different. Spreadsheet tute, the green color I gave you, that is CMYK. HTML tute is RGB. Okay. The below label shows some icons used in graphic software. Identify the names of those lists given and write down the correct name of the tools. Perfect. Let's find. If you look at this tool, is it looking like a brush, or is it looking something like a, magic wand tool is also like a brush tool, it looks like. Is it looking like a select by color tool, or does it look like the foreground tool or blend tool? Correct. It actually looks like the blend tool. There's another tool. There's another name for this blend tool. What do you call that as? Like if you're going to go from one color to another color, what do you call that as a? Yes. We call that as a gradient. You go from one color to another color, we call it as a gradient. Okay. So this is a blend tool. You can also call it as gradient. What do you call this tool? As you can see, there's like normally if you take a picture, there's something in front and there's something in back. The back part is there, we call as a background, right? What is there in front? We call, if you're going to separate what is there in front and back. Yes, that front thing we call as a foreground. Okay. So this is the foreground selection tool. The foreground selection tool. Looking at this tool, it's looking at the idea of what this tool is. What is it? Select by. Correct. This is the select by color tool. What is lesson number of the last question? Both of these are lesson number 4 related question. And then what can you do with foreground tool? That's why I said if you take an image, let's say you have an image, you're standing in front of a whole scenery. That scenery is a background, you're the foreground. So you can select yourself from the background using this foreground selection tool. Got it? Programming, Shamil. Yes, they do give options. What is this tool called as? Using this tool, you can select similar colors. Yes, it's called the fuzzy select tool. There's another name for fuzzy select tool that's called the magic wand tool. Using this, you can select similar colors. For example, using now, if I go and click, if I use the select by color tool, and using select by color tool, if I come and click on this master online text, it will not only select this. Apart from selecting the master online text, it will select this text, it will select this text. In this tute, wherever there is black color, it will go and select. That's how the select by color works. But if I go and use the fuzzy select tool and click on the master online, only that master online will get selected. It will not go and select all these text. Okay, in that surrounding, close to it, whatever it's there, based on similar colors, it will go and select. Got it? For example, imagine you can see here red color is used here, and you can see red color is used here. It is your headset as well. If I take the select by color tool and click on this, let's say I go and click on red color, it will select this headphone as well as it will select the red color box. Both of it will get selected. There'll be like a dotted line around both of it. Right? That's how the select by color works. In the document, in the canvas, wherever that color is visible, it'll get selected. That's how select by color works. Clear? On the other hand side, if I go and use a magic wand tool and go and click here, only the headset will get selected. It will not go and select this red color part. And it will select only the headset. It will not select the face or other stuffs. Got it? The difference in magic wand tool and select by color tool. Yes. And then how do you call this as the last tool we have here? Yes, that's called the airbrush tool. If you all know what is oil painting, you can get an effect of oil painting using this airbrush tool. Okay. If you put more pressure, it'll look more darker. And if you put less pressure and pull it, it'll look less darker. It's like a spray painting, oil painting. Actually, like sorry, spray painting, not oil painting, spray painting. The airbrush tool, it looks like spray painting. Huh? Anyways, these are the tools. Is that clear? These are some tools we have in a software called as GIMP in your syllabus. These are software you learn in order to create digital graphics. Is that clear? Anyone having any doubts based on the questions we had here? What is Daisho? What is the tool in B? It's called foreground selection tool. Like for example, imagine you have an image. Now, if you look at my image, I have myself here, and I have the wall behind, right? So if I use foreground selection tool and select this whole picture, it will separate me. It will select me from the background. So I am the foreground. It will select myself. Got it? What is blend tool to? It will create a gradient. Okay. Question number 2. You have been asked to design a website for your school ICT club. All the responsibilities from the initial stage of designing to publishing the websites are given to you. Write 4 various contents which can be included in the website. Okay. Tell me some things you can notice that is being used in the website. The website content, call it web contents. What are the things a website can contain? Yes, a website can contain text. Correct. It can contain images. It can contain videos. It can contain links. We call those links as hyperlinks. Huh? It can contain links. What else? It can contain tables. It can contain animations. Here, there are several various web contents we can actually include. Even audios are correct. Maps are correct. You can mention anything you notice inside a website, you can mention for this. So all these stuffs, we call them as web contents or website contents. Is that clear, all of you? Got it? Okay, perfect. Next, there are different methods to design website. State 2 web authoring tools which you could use for it, right? Normally, when you're developing websites, okay, if you want to develop a website, there are 2 main methods. One is with coding, and other one is without coding. Without coding. Now, with coding, tell me, what is the language we learn in our syllabus to create websites? What is the computer language we learned to code websites, basically? Yes. To create websites, we use a language called as HTML. Pascal, you can't create websites. Pascal is different scenario. Okay. Pascal is used to create applications, not websites. To create website, the language we are going to use is something called as HTML. Now, without coding, when you're going to create website, there are 2 types of applications we have. One is called a web authoring tool, and the other one is called a content management system. For you to be able to understand these two, the difference between these two, there's one thing which you have to understand first. Okay. First of all, you should know what are the types of websites we have. When you take types of websites, there are 2 types of websites. One is called a static, right? But the other one we have. What is the other type of website we have? Correct. The other type of website we have is dynamic website. Okay. Now, if you take static website, what happens is when anyone accesses this website, the data is going to remain the same. If anyone accesses the website, the data remains the same. Now, for example, I create this website, right? If any of us go and access this website, the data here, is it going to change based on person to person? This website I made, dummy website I made at the moment, is the website going to change from person to person? No, it's the same website. But if I take master ID website, if I go to my profile page, okay, you can see it's showing my name. Now for the same link, so master online website, let's say if I go for the same link, if you go for the same link, same URL, you go, will you be able to see my name or your name? I mean, will you be able to see my name basically? If you go for that same link, will you be able to see my name? No. If you go for this link, you might be able to see your name. So Master Online, if you take this website, this is a dynamic website based on the user or based on the country you're accessing. All those stuffs, it is going to vary. Like for example, if you go and type youtube.com, okay, you will notice, okay, it did not redirect. But you will notice here, I have the text called LK here, right? Imagine if a foreigner also goes and types youtube.com, for them, will this show as LK here? Will you have LK? If you go and type YouTube there, will it show here as LK? No, it's going to change, right? So if you take YouTube, again, that's a dynamic website, right? Based on the user, the content can change. So dynamic website is where based on user or based on country or based on any data, based factor, based on a factor, if data varies or changes. It's like a dynamic website. Even time can be a factor. Huh? Now, for example, if you go for Master Online website, okay, if you go for this Master Online website, now you let's say you can see a respective class. Let me just go and click on a respective class. Now you can see this class is starting on January 21st at 4:45 p.m. If you come at 4:46, it will not be visible. At 4:46, if you go to past lessons only, it will be visible. Now you can see based on the time, automatically it will put a lesson to upcoming lesson and past lessons. At sharp 4:45, 4:46, if you come, automatically it will show on the past lessons. So this capability to modify the website automatically based on the user, automatically based on time, automatically based on a country, those types of applications or websites you can call as a dynamic website. Is that clear? Static, it's going to be the same for everyone. So based on this, tell me, you have, let's say I go to Instagram.com and I go to my profile page. In that case, tell me, is Instagram a dynamic website or static website? Correct. Instagram is a dynamic website. If you go, it will show your account details. If I go, it will show my account details. How about this website? Is this a static website or is it a dynamic website? Yes. This website, this part of the website is actually a static website. This web page, if I ask is about this web page is a complete static web page. Anyone who goes and accesses this web page, you will be able to see the same data. There is not going to be any data that's going to change. Right? Is that clear? If the data is going to be changed, same for everyone, it's a static website. Tell me, are you clear about the difference between static websites and dynamic website, all of you? It's going to be the same, Shabir. So anyone who accesses a static website, it's the same. If you want a change in static website, you have to go and make changes in your coding. Automatically changes will not happen based on a factor. In static website, if you want changes, you have to go and change in the but dynamic website changes, we don't go and change the coding based on certain factor, it will get changed automatically. Got it? Now, if you take web authoring tools are used to create static website. In this website, RS is changing. Actually, for the namesake, they have put RS. RS does not change. Any country go on because this is a local website. It's not an international website. So register website, whatever you do, it's going to be the same. Where you access this website from. But anyways, what you called web authoring tools are mainly used to create static websites, and content management systems are mainly used to create dynamic website. So this is where the purpose of using this or this can vary. E-commerce is generally dynamic, right? Yes, e-commerce is generally dynamic. It can, but can it be static? Let me show you an example for static e-commerce website. You can't do e-commerce in static, but like product view, do I have a page for product view? No, I can't remember. Not e-commerce is anyways dynamic, but if you there are certain websites people make just to publish details about the product, that's static. Not exact, Nabia. I have used that website, so it's based on experience I told you. But if you go for now, there is a website called GoReady. That's all the same purpose website only, but that's a dynamic website. Here, based on the user, the prices change. Okay. Yes. So if you take static websites, so if you take web authoring tools, give me some examples for web authoring tools we have. Yes, we have Composer, Seek Editor. Yes, Google site is correct. Blue Griffin. And if you take content management systems, give me some examples. What is the famous content management system we have? Like the very yes, the famous content management system which many people use is WordPress. Then we have Joomla. What else? We have Drupal. Okay. So WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal are examples for content management systems. Using them, you can make dynamic websites. And Composer, CKD, Blue Dolphin, they're all web authoring. Using them, you can create static websites. Is that clear of you? Got the idea for this? Right. So the question is asking state to web authoring tools you can make use. So you can mention for web authoring tools, you can mention here, let's say CK Editor, Composer, and Blue Griffin. Is that clear, all of you? Up to a certain level, yes, Aisha. Like majority, yes. Right. So these are the examples we have. This is actually this whole part is like 50%. What I told you here is the right. This what I taught you up to here is like 50% of the HTML lesson. The remaining 50% is coding basically. Whatever is there is 50% of the whole HTML lesson. Blue. BLUE. Blue Griff. Okay. Mention any requirements needed to be fulfilled for publishing your website. Okay. To publish your website, there are certain things you need, right? First of all, you have to get a name for your website. Call that as that thing. What name do we give? It has a special name for that. What name we call it? Correct. We call it as a domain name. Without a domain name, you actually can't create. And then to store the website, what do you call it as? Yes. The server, there's a special name for the server. We call that as a web host. Okay, web host is basically the server which is going to be used to store the website. Okay, web host is basically the server that's going to be used to store the website. And then let's say you want to code the website. You need certain applications, right? It can be, let's say, an application used to create HTML, or it can be application used to write web authoring tools or content management systems. In general, the application used to write HTML codes or application used to, without coding, create applications. This, or this. In general, you can call all these types of applications as a web designing tool. So you need a web designing software, basically an application to create the website. What else do you need? Think. To publish if I want to publish this website on a, let's say I want to, what do you call, I have a domain name, I have a server, I have the designing software. So using web designing software, I've made the website. Now I want to publish this website to my server. To do this, I need a connection. What type of connection do I need? Correct. I need an internet connection. Without internet connection, can you publish a website? No. Without a domain name, can you publish a website? No. Without a server, A place to store your website. Can you publish your website? No. So these are all compulsory things you need to create a website. Is that clear, all of you? I used a subdomain, so it's still considered valid. Yes, yes, yes. Subdomain is a part of a domain name. You can mention FTP as well, but that's not compulsory. I mean, it's compulsory meaning your web host will have FTP inbuilt inside it. We don't have to have a separate FTP, but yeah, you can mention. Is that clear, all of you? Okay, perfect. Next, is Google site is a server for the website which we can use that. Yes. And this, what do you call, we have something called sites.google.com. This is the domain name. Actually, the whole thing is a domain name for your website. To be precise, it's sites.google.com. And I'm using Google site as my server. Google as my server. But normally, if you're creating a website, for example, let's say Master ID website, to write the codes of Master ID website, I used an application called Visual Studio Code. And then to purchase a server, I bought the server from Register.UK. I bought the domain name from Lanka Host. No, Lanka Domain Register. Right. So you can access, you can obtain this service from different applications, but these are different. These are where I got, but you can get it from different places. Even Google sells domains. How much did it cost? I think domain name costs around 3,000, 4,000 rupees now. Server costs around 9,000 something minimum. But the server I use is a second server, which is actually this. And you call web designing software is completely free. VS Code is free. And internet connection obviously to pay, depending on your usage. Browser is not a requirement. It is, but it is not like a vital requirement. That's like a basic requirement. It's like obviously you'll have, right? You don't have to again, got it. Anyways, next. Consider the following HTML source code and its output. So you're supposed to do the fill in the blanks, right? Now, if you take the HTML code, you can see inside the, if you take HTML website, the whole code of a website is normally written inside the HTML tag. So you have open HTML tag and close HTML tag now. Within HTML tag, there are two main sections. One you can see is this head section. What is the other section we have? One is a head. And what is the next section we have? Correct. That is a body section. Look at the given code and tell me, what do you think is a number for the body section? Yes, you can see head section is given here. The remaining section we have. Correct. Number 10 is representing the body tag. And then normally if you take websites, in the top you can see a text here, right? So YouTube, then hosting, blah, 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 house master, untitled, then lessons. The top picture you can see an icon and a name. Icon and a name, right? Icon and a name, right? Okay. What do you call that name as a? You can see along with the icon, there's a name. What do you call this name as a? Correct. That's a title of the website. Okay. To create the title, you have to specify it in the head section. And for that, we have a tag called the title tag. So number one is representing the title tag. Whatever you mention the title tag only is going to mention the top itself here. Along with the icon, you can say icon and a name. Icon and name, right? That name is from the title tag. Is that clear, all of you? Do you understand the purpose of title tag? Perfect. Now, when you come into the code, you can see there's something they have used H2 tag. Okay. H2 is like the heading size 2, right? And they have mentioned it says school library management software. Okay. You can see school library management software, right? This software, you can see they have used H2 tag. If you use a H2 tag, H2 is actually a heading tag. In heading tag, your text will be bold as well as your font size is going to be large. The text is going to be bold and font size is large. Okay. Now, apart from these two, to do these two, you have the what you call H2 tags. Apart from these two, there's another formatting you can see for the school library, which is done by the tag number 2. What is it? The text is the middle. How to get the text to the middle? What is the tag I have to use for that? There's a specific tag you can use to make your text come to the middle. What is that tag? Align is not a tag. Align is an attribute for the p tag. But what is the element you can create? Yes. So number 2 is representing the center tag. Using the center tag, I can make any element. It can be a text or it can be an image or whatever. I can make it to come to center using the center tag. Okay. So center is the name of the tag. So number 2 is representing center. Keep in mind, center is a tag, not an attribute. Okay. We have align equals center. That's come inside p tag. It doesn't come in the total. But in the next line, they have used center tag. Yeah, that is to center the image. To center the image, they have used the center tag here. And to center the heading, they have used the center tag here. It's opening here and closing here. Opening tag, closing tag. Okay. Next, number 3. It's written inside image tag. In the image tag, they have mentioned school management software.jpg. .jpg. They have mentioned the image name there. I mean, image whole path. So what is the tag we use to mention that? The exact file name of the image. Because you have exam tomorrow, I'm doing this seminar. Exactly. It's the SRC, Singha Rupa Chitra, if I can remember. Right? And then you can see height equals 100, width equals 50. Okay, that's all fine. Then P, they have mentioned align equals 4. Look at this paragraph and tell me what is the alignment done? Is it left, right, center, or justify? Whatever is necessary for the exam as well. Exactly. You can see the left side borders it's touching, right side borders it's touching. We call this alignment where it's touching the left side border as well as right side border. If it's touching both the sides, you call that alignment as justify alignment. If it's only left side, it's left align. If it's only right side, right align. If it's the middle, it's center line. But it's equal from the left and right, it's justified. What is the difference? Alignment indentation. This is indentation. The gap you have here is indentation. Okay. So if the text is like this, if everything is closed for the left side border, this is left align. If all the text is going to come like for the right side border, that's right align. Align equals right. If it's going to come in the middle, it's going to be called as center align. But if it is equal from the left and equal like this, like box. Okay. If it's like this, then you can call this justify alignment. Clear? Left, right, center, justify. Okay. Then number 5, they have mentioned here 5 type equals 1 for acquisition, all these stuffs. Okay. You can see this is a list. If you take HTML, there's many two types of, there are 3 types, but let's say mainly the 2 types. One is ordered list and one is unordered list. Does this look like an ordered list or does this look like an unordered list? Ordered means it has a value going, like, it can be counted. Unordered means it doesn't have an order. There is no like values for it. Yes, you can see 1, 2, 3 has a number. It has an order, right? So it's an ordered list. To create an ordered list, we use the OL tag. So if you have this 1, 2, 3 as a list, keep in mind, it's the OL tag that is being used. If it was an unordered list, for example, let's say bullet points were used, then what is the element name we have to use? Instead of 1, 2, 3, if it was bullet points, what should we use? Correct. We have to use the unordered list, which is UL tag. Correct. Then number six. Number six, you can see inside the table tag, they have used number six as an attribute, something equals to. Look at the table tag and tell me, by default, if you take a table, when you create a table tag without any attributes, just if you mention table tag, will you get these borders which you can see here? By default, will you get these borders? If you don't mention it. No. Keep in mind the table, if you create a table with a table tag, if you create a website, okay, without any elements, if you just mention like this table tag, the table will not have a border. So if you want a border like this, you have to add the border using an attribute. So number six is actually the border attribute. We are saying border equals to. Is that clear, all of you? Perfect. Then number seven, you can see products can't we write a stable border? If you're writing table border, you should write a table dash border, but will that work? Will that work? Will that work? No, you can't. You can't. You can't. You have just mentioned border. Border is attribute name. You have just mentioned border. In CSS, we use table border, but not in, no, in HTML, you don't use, you are just mentioned as border. Then tag number seven, you can see it's mentioned inside tag number nine. So products, where's products. Okay, products, education, and special. You can look at this table and tell me, are these a table heading or are these table data? These products, education, and all these stuffs, are they heading of a table or data? Exactly, they are headings. To create table heading, what is the tag we use? Correct. We are going to use a th tag because that's a table heading. We are going to use a table hth tag. Then you can see student information, higher education, all these stuffs. They are all data. That's why we use td tag here. Okay. Now, these three headings are there in one row. These three data are there in another row. That is why these three data are mentioned here. Then these three data are there in another row. That's why those three data are mentioned here. Okay. So to differentiate each of these rows, you can see there's a tag number 9 used, right? What is the name of this tag? To show that this is one row, this is another row, and this is another row. What is the tag number 9? Correct. That's the TR tag. TH stands for table heading, TD stands for table data, and TR stands for table row. Is that clear, all of you? And then you can see there's a link given here to click on this link to get this more information. In a tag means anchor tag, okay? In the anchor tag, what is the attribute we use to specify the URL of a website? What is the attribute we use to specify the URL of a website? Correct. In the anchor tag is only used to create links. Like for example, you can see more information. When I go and click on this more information text, it will take me to this URL. Okay. So in the anchor tag, we use a href attribute for this. Right. And then number 10, we found out a while ago, it's body tag. So these are the tags we have used in this scenario. Is that clear, all of you? What is BR? BR is line break. For example, if you want, like, I'll just show you an example. You can see if I type a hello world, both these words are in the same line. If I want world to go in the next line, if I put the BR tag, you can see hello is in one line and his world is another line. So BR is line break tag. Got it? Anyone having any questions related to this tags here? Eighth tag is an anchor tag. It's called hyperlinks. Anchor tag, in its 8 is actually an attribute used in the anchor tag. So in anchor tag, we use href attribute to mention the URL. शायद I'll tell about that later. Okay. Okay, Amna. What is for what is IMG used for? To include image. You can see a IMG tag. Using the IMG tag only, we're able to get this picture here. TR is table row. That's why you can see here. These three headings are there in one row. These three data are there in another row. That's why here number 9 is TR tag. To specify every row, table row, to specify this as a row, I use TR tag. To specify that there's going to be another row, I use TR tag. Correct? There's nothing called TI. Unordered list UL. Ordered list OL, unordered list UL. Okay. Where is alt used for? Alt is used in image tag. Now, for example, if the image is not loaded, keep in mind, if the image is not loaded, you can add another attribute here as like here, height, width, IM, SRC. Likewise, you can add another attribute here as alt equals, and you can mention text. So what will happen is if the image is not loaded, that text will be visible. Is it H? It's href, href, hyperlink reference. SRC tag is used to mention the location where the image is stored. So you can see that's why I mentioned school management software .jpg, right? So if I want to show this image, for example, if I want this image, in that inside SRC, I can mention this link. So if I mention this link inside SRC, it will show this picture. For example, I'll show you IMG SRC equals. To make the image smaller, I'll just put width equals 100, width equals 500. See? So SRC is used to show the source where the image is stored. Got it? Okay. And then finally, for the beautiful programming question. Okay, focus. The most beautiful question you can ever expect in a paper. There are three signal bulbs in red, yellow, and green in the deep freezer of a double door fridge. Why have they been specified about double door fridge? Looks like showing off a bit. Anyways, deep freezing starts when the inner temperature of the upper compartment, wow, how much English, is more than 1 degree Celsius and the red bulb switch is on. Okay. Green bulb switches on when the temperature ranges blah, 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 blah. If the temperature is low, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's see what the question is asking basically. The process is displayed in the below flow chart. Write the suitable labels for A to F. Let's see. First of all, you're going to check, is the power switch on? Right? When the power switch is on, you're going to go and check in this program. Is the temperature in the deep freezer greater than 10 degrees Celsius? Now, I'm going to call this statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, statement 4. Out of these 4 statements, which one is relevant to checking the, what do you call, deep freezer is greater than 10 degrees Celsius? Okay, Rahman. Okay, if you look at the whole scenario, you can see deep freezing starts when the inner temperature of the upper compartment is more than 1 degree Celsius and the red bulb switch is on. Okay. And the green bulb is on when the temperature ranges, blah, blah, blah. Okay. When they're talking about is the temperature in the deep freezer greater than 10 degrees Celsius? And based on this, you're going to go for A or B. Okay. In A, you're going to switch on the deep freezer and you're going to switch on a specific bulb. Okay. Now, when the temperature is more than 10 degrees Celsius, the the blower activates to cool the room and the yellow bulb switches on. First of all, let's see, is there anything about blower? Okay. If the blower is mentioned, then it's not relevant to the last statement. Fine. So we're going to switch on the deep freezer. In which one are we going to switch on the deep freezer? Now, using the 10 degrees Celsius data was not important. So I'm going to come for this data. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, in which one are we talking about switching on the deep freezer? Yes, the statement 1 is talking about switching on the deep freezer. So let's stick to that. So deep freeze is on when the temperature of the upper compartment is more than 1 degree Celsius. Okay. So if the temperature in deep freeze is more than 1 degree Celsius, okay. So based on that, tell me, should this be yes or should this be no? I wanted to come this side only if it's more than 1 degree Celsius. The question has mentioned here more than 10 degrees. Is this question correct? Is it be more than 1 or more than 10? Let me just double check it. More than 1. Yeah. Okay. So I want it to be more than 1 to come to on the deep freezer. So if I want more than 1, okay, more than 1. I think it should be more than 10. I think the question has to be more than 10. So let me consider this as more than 10. That it doesn't make sense. Okay, let's consider this as more than 10 degrees Celsius. So if you're going to consider this as 10 degrees Celsius, tell me, now should A be yes or no? Now? Yes, we're going to check is the temperature more than, is the temperature in deep freezer more than 10 degrees Celsius? If it is yes, we're going to switch on the deep freezer. Apart from switching on the deep freezer, look at the first statement and tell me which color bulb has to be on. Yes, the red color bulb has to be on. So C is going to be red. What do you think B is going to be? If A is going to be yes, the down direction B has to be correct. The B has to be no. The second statement you're going to say, check, is the temperature in the freezer less than 2 degrees Celsius? Okay. Is the temperature is less than 2 degrees Celsius? If it is less than 2 degrees Celsius, okay, if it's less than 2 degrees Celsius, which statement is talking about that? Is the statement 1, 2, or 3? Which one is talking about less than 2 degrees Celsius? What to do? What to do if the temperature is less than 2 degrees Celsius? Yes, you can see less than 2 degrees Celsius what to do. It's mentioned in statement number 3. So you can see if it's less than 2 degrees Celsius, the cooling boiler is deactivated. Okay, the cooling boiler is there. So you can see deactivates the boiler, fine. And then they have not mentioned anything about the color in the statement number 3. So I'm going to keep that on pause. In the statement number 4, they have mentioned when the temperature of low compartment is more than 10 degrees Celsius. Let's come to D in a while. But if the temperature in the lower compartment is more than 10 degrees Celsius, the blower activates to cool the room and the yellow bulb is switched on. If the temperature in the freezer is less than 2 degrees Celsius, the cooling bowl is deactivated, fine. But they have not mentioned the color. So I'm going to keep that on pause. Green bulb is switched on when the temperature ranges between 2 degrees Celsius and 10 degrees Celsius. So if it's between 2 degrees Celsius and 10 degrees Celsius, tell me, should it be, for green to be on, should it be greater than 2 or less than 2? To on the green light, it has to be between 2 and 10. No? So should it be greater than 2 or less than 2? Correct. It has to be greater than 2. Tell me, if the temperature is greater than 2, will I go towards the right side direction or will I come down? Look at these two instances and tell me, for this condition, if the temperature is greater than 2, will I go right or will I go down? If it's greater than 2, for example, let's say the temperature is now 3 degrees Celsius. Exactly. I'm going to go down because why? Here I'm checking is the temperature less than 2. So only if it is less than 2, I'm going to go right. I'm asking if it's greater than 2, we are going to go down. So if you're going to go down, in the down, you're going to check is the temperature in the freezer activate the blower. You're going to okay, down, you're going to, if it's no, you're going to activate the blower. You're activating the blower in which situation? Because you can see the down is activating the blower. No, you're going to activate the blower in which situation? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Yes. Here you're deactivating, but activating the blower is done here. Okay, to cool. So if you're going to activate the blower there, right? In that case, anyways, F is going to be yellow color bulb because they have mentioned you're going to activate the blower and switch on the yellow color bulb. So definitely F is going to be yellow. And then where is E basically? Okay, they're not given the question here. But yeah, you're going to activate the blower. Is temperature in the freezer? What is the condition? They're not given the blank there. But yeah, let's check. You're activating the blower when the temperature lower compartment is more than 10 degrees. So you're going to check, is it more than 2? So you're going to check, actually, is it less than 2? Here you're going to check, is it less than 10? If it's less than 10, switch on something. Or else, if it's more than 10, you're going to activate the blower now. Okay. If it's less than 10, which bulb should you activate? What color bulb? Now, more than 10 only is yellow. More than 10 is yellow. But less than 10 is? Yes, less than 10 means in this range, right? 2 degrees Celsius. So less than 10, what color should on? 2 degrees to 10 degrees means it's less than 10, right? Let's say value is less than 10. Correct. Green color. So E has to be green. And D is coming this direction. If the temperature in the freezer is less than 2 means if the temperature lower compartment less than 2. Wait. There is red, green, yellow. Red is on when the compartment is more than 1 degree or maybe more than 10. So more than 10, red is on. So C is red. Fine. Green is on when the temperature ranges between 2 and 10. So if it's more than 2, less than 10. So is it less than 2? No. Then what do you call E is actually mentioned there, green, fine. For D, can we guess a value? They are not mentioned. In the statement number 3, they are not mentioned exactly. So that is a question mark. If the temperature of the lower compartment is deep freezing starts when the temperature in a compartment is more than 1 degree Celsius and red bulb is switched on. Is the power switch on? Yes. You're going to check is the temperature in the deep freezer. I hate this question. It doesn't make sense. Is temperature in the deep freezer greater than 10 degrees Celsius? Is it greater than degrees Celsius? Yes. So I change the question 10 degrees Celsius and the red bulb is on. Switch on the deep freezer. Correct. Switch on the red bulb. Correct. Green bulb is on when the temperature is more than 2, less than 10. So I'm going to check is it more than 2? Is the temperature in freezer less than 2? More than 2 means I'm coming here. In the temperature less than 10. Less than 10. Yes, on the green bulb. Perfect. So E is green. If the temperature lower compartment less than 2 degrees Celsius, if it's less than 2 degrees Celsius, the cooling bowl is deactivated. Fine. When the temperature of the lower compartment is more than 10 degrees Celsius, the blue activates. Fine. And yellow. Okay. They have not mentioned what is happening for D. No, they have not mentioned anything for D. Because you can see D is talking about statement number 3. In statement number 3, have they mentioned what to do if they less than 2? No. If we take the first statement as 1, then we can say red bulb is on, right? Red bulb is on when the compartment is more than 10 degrees Celsius. That is done by this statement. When you on in the deep freezer, so you on the deep freezer and you put the red color bulb. So that's coming under here. Red is coming under here. They again deactivate the blower. Yes, D is talking about this. This box is talking about deactivating blower. Deactivating blower is mentioned in statement number 3. Here. So in statement number 3, have they mentioned anything about the color? No. Can't we say yellow bulb doesn't light for 3? No, they ask you to fill in the blanks. In the fill in the blanks, they have asked you to switch on D color bulb. So they have not mentioned which color bulb. Got it. So actually, I should have done this question before giving it to you. To be honest, this is the first time I do this question with you all. This question doesn't make sense, first thing. Second thing is there's so many errors. In the question is now it's like made 2 errors. This is another error this question had. And this is the third error which the question has. But anyways, how you I should have done this question. Anyways, when you're filling a what you call flow chart, what you do is try to connect the statement and the flow chart. Statement and flow chart. That's how you fill the flow chart. You saw how my logic works here, right? I first of all tried to figure out the condition. It could not match. Then I jumped to the output. I was like, okay, to get this output, which one matches? And then I started connecting each of these boxes and figure out the answer. Did that make sense? What happiness you came with, Kannurutan. Exactly. One of you would have put Badua for this question. But actually, this is my paper, as I can remember. Yes. Anyways, did you get the idea on how you approach the programming question, not how you answer this question, because answer varies from the plot. But how did I approach for the question kind of idea to get when I'm filling this? D again doesn't have an answer. Just relate the statement with the box. Convert the above flowchart into pseudocode. That's going to be very easy. Let's do. If you look at this flowchart, tell me, is there a repetition? I'll tell you a simple trick on how you can identify repetitions. A simple way to identify repetitions is you check for a condition, okay, for a condition, is there more than one input? Look at the whole flowchart and see, is there any condition that's getting more than one, what do you call inflows? Is there a condition like that? That's getting, I'm going to call this condition as condition number A, condition, or let's say I use some letters. I'm going to call this condition P, condition Q, condition R, and condition S. Compare PQRS and tell me, is there a specific condition that's getting a flow from more than one place, not just from one place, like two places are coming inside? Is there something like that? Yes. See this fellow. If you look at this condition, you can see it is getting a data from here as well as, it's getting it's getting what you call a flow of information. Okay, it's coming from there. It's coming from here as well. So you can see there are two pointers towards it. When there is more than one pointer, keep in mind, when there is more than one pointer towards it, not out of it, I'm talking about towards it. Towards a condition, if there is more than one pointer, there is repetition. Is that part clear, all of you? Is that part clear? How I identify there's a repetition? Okay, if a condition has more than one pointer towards it. So how I'm going to write this is I'm going to write the condition as, obviously we start the program with begin, and that is the first condition we have there. I'm going to use a while loop. So I'll be like while, and what is the condition I have there? While the power switch is on. Begin while power switch is on. While power switch is on. Now, remaining parts all are going to be very easy for you. Okay. You can see while that is done, you're going to come for the second condition. It is the state condition Q. Tell me, is condition Q, is it like a selection or is it a repetition? Selection is where you can see we are making a choice. Yes, you can see there's only one inflow. So it's a selection. So I'm going to mention a selection inside if statement. So I'm going to, if temperature in deep freeze is greater than 10. So inside this, I'm going to mention if temperature in deep freezer is greater than 10 degrees Celsius, then, okay. When this condition is true, what to happen is mentioned in the right hand side. I put switch on deep freezer, switch on C color bulb. C is what? Red. So switch on deep freezer, right? Switch on deep freezer and switch on red bulb. Then switch on deep freezer. Is it necessary with the brackets? Not exactly, but better. And next instruction is switch on red bulb. Then I have the else part. Else I had to mention what to do if the condition is false. If the condition is false, what should I do? I have to go right or up if this condition is false. So write it down. The condition Q. If it's false, I have to go down. If I go down, you can see there's an if condition inside that. How do you call one if condition inside another if condition? There's a special name for that. What do you call that as? You can see inside this if condition, there's another if condition. If temperature is greater than, if temperature in freeze is less than 2. If temp in freeze is less than 2. Yes, this is called nested if. keep in mind, nested if means inside one if condition, there is another if condition. Okay. So you can say I mentioned if temperature is greater than is less than 2 degrees Celsius, then switch on color bulb. We don't know what color bulb to on, so I'm going to ignore that. Deactivate the blower. So I'm going to mention then deactivate the blower. Else, I'm going to come down. It is in that else I have if condition there. So is temperature in freezer less than 10 degrees Celsius? Okay, now I figure out. Actually, this D should not come here. D should come here because you can see there's a blank here without a letter. Technically, I think D has to come here. But anyways, the person who made this paper, which branch made the paper? Anyways, fine. What do you call is temperature in the freezer less than 10? Else, if temperature in freezer is less than 10 degrees Celsius, then switch on E color bulb, switch on green bulb. So switch on green bulb. Else, we have to activate the blower and switch on the yellow bulb. Else, activate blower and switch on yellow bulb. Now, whenever you start a if condition, how do you end a if condition? What do you do? How do you show the end of this if condition? Exactly. We use something called as end if. So this pink color end, you can see it has end if. Again, my green color if condition should have if, then else. This also need to have end if. And similarly, the one I wrote in blue color, that is this, also needs a end if. So if then else end if. Every if condition you open, keep in your mind, has to have an end if. So I have here end, end, end. Now you can see once you're done with that, you're again going back to the question, you're going back to this main condition, the condition we have written with the while loop. So how do you show the end of a while loop? How do I show that the while loop is stopping from there? Correct. We use something called here as end while. And once a program is ended, directly you end the program. So to show the end of the program, I'm using end. I regret doing this programming question. It's a worst programming question I ever done. I should have seriously checked the question before giving you all. To be honest, I'm doing this paper first time with you all. Yeah, I didn't check the paper before doing. But anyways, got the idea how I converted the flowchart into a pseudocode. The conditions you replace with if then else. If a condition has two pointers towards it, it's a what do you call a loop. Anyways, actually for today's portion that is there. What is the time now? Okay, only 8 minutes I took extra based on the time I told you here. If it's not a loop, how to start? Then you just mention if power switch is on. Then instead of using while, you use word if. Keep in mind for selection, you go for if then else. If condition, then what to do if this condition is true? Else, what to do if the condition is false? And end if. This is how you have to handle selection. But if it's a repetition, what you do is mostly you go for while. While is the most safest one. While mention the condition, then do, and what to happen if it's true, and end while. Got it? How to identify which if a condition has to work, if a instruction has to be repeated, if a instruction should be repeated, when the condition is true, then go for while loop. If the instruction has to be repeated when the condition is false, then you can go for repeat until loop. Or else, first of all, repeat the instructions. Okay, first of all, repeat the instruction, then check the condition. First instructions, then condition. Then again repeat until loop. But based on a condition only, you're going to repeat, then while loop. In while loop, condition is checked first. Based on condition, you decide whether to repeat. But repeat until condition is checked last. Which means after you execute the statement, you're going to decide, should I repeat again? Got the idea? Today's content is only that much. If I have any questions, I can stay and ask. Again, extremely sorry for dragging the seminar. It's something I usually do. I have not done for your batch. For the previous batch, I do, but I have not done for your batch. Again, your seminar got delayed again mainly because of the grade 10. See, your time correct perfectly went. Started from 9:30, 9:30 odd then, 11:30 we were but in 2 hours, the grade 10 part, what the this one, sorry on that. 10, 10. When will you start programming in recap? February. What is an indif? What do you mean? What is then indif? You mentioned endif to show the end of if statement. So you say if statement is the true statement is stopping from here, false statement is stopping from here. To show where the false statement is stopping, use endif. Shouldn't we add any punctuations? This is what you call pseudocode. No, so pseudocode there is no punctuation. Only Pascal programs punctuations are there. We were better than tense. Y'all were so much better than tense. The stupid questions I used to get in that session. Anyways, like commas, full stop, not necessarily for pseudocode. Only in Pascal programs, you have the colon, semicolon, all those stuffs. That condition instruction. Normally, this is a condition. You're going to check, is a power switch on? After you check, is a condition true? Only if the condition is true, you're going to execute this instruction. Like, for example, look at this flow chart here. You're going to check the condition. Only if the condition is true, you're going to execute, or else you're going to stop the program completely. So if you're going to check the condition first, and based on the condition, only if the condition is true, you're going to repeat, that's while loop. So two properties for while loop. One property in while loop is condition is checked first, then only instructions are repeated. These are things that are repeated. Second thing is only if it's true, it's repeating. See? That's how you identify while loop. Got it? Okay, Ajmal, what's up? You have yesterday's paper's transcript. If you can, okay, I'll tell you a fun fact. The exam I kept all, I think online was, sorry, well, Kolana was 2017. Vellavata was 2021. And I think online was 2019. I can't remember the exact year. These years support seminar paper. So Google it. Sarah, yes. False means if there is no options. No, false means if the condition is false. For example, you can see here, if that means If you're going to repeat, only if the condition is no. If the repetition is going to happen, if the condition is no, that is what I mean by false. Thank you, Marwa. Defragmentation means what? If you take a hard disk, your data will be stored in a very scattered manner, like unorganized manner, randomly in one places, part of your hard disk is stored. So rearranging the hard disk or rearranging the memory units in the hard disk. Okay, let's say you're going to rearrange the hard disk in such that all the datas are together. That's for defragmentation. Imagine something else. Imagine you have a cupboard. In your cupboard, let's say you have your what you call shirts, trousers, pajamas, and everything together. It's very hard to obtain them. So let's say you're going to rearrange the cupboard in such that you're going to keep all the pajamas together, all the shirts together, all the trousers together. That process of rearranging and reorganizing and keeping the same stuffs together, that's what defragmentation is in simple terms. Got it? So did you do all three supports before coming for the exam? So basically that you would have done the same paper in the exam, is it? R1 had 2016 Western Province also. No, no, no. You're also completely it was a support seminar paper which I gave you. Depends, Ahad. Me downloaded and saw all the provincial papers. I used ChatGPT to find also. I know that you all will be focusing on what do you call provincial. That's why shaping I put a support seminar. Then if you had done this support seminar, maybe you should have got 100 marks for the paper, let's say, before doing the exam. But the answer sheet were not there. Huh. Anyways, we're done for the day. Those are any questions or can stay and ask others or can leave. We're done. Why? Because best support center paper is like the Western province. It is not in oral standard. Oral standard is easy. No, but before that, I couldn't check. So you did, but you did not check your answer. Is it? Defragmentation means what? That is what I explained. When were you sleeping when I explained what defragmentation is? Rearranging your hard disk in such that all the similar data are together. Like imagine you have a cupboard and you have your what do you call trousers, shirts, all those stuffs mixed and scattered. Let's say we're going to keep all the trousers together, shirts together, pajamas together. That's what defragmentation is. Rearranging the data in the hard disk in such that similar data are together. No. Either don't focus on that. Ignore it completely. That's going to waste your time understanding it. Not worth the time to by hard it. Yeah, I'll post the recording of this session and the PDF in the what do you call community. You can check there. I mean channel. Main theory questions for exam. Spreadsheet database and then what do you call HTML programming. Do you have a provincial paper then before tomorrow? Google has several papers. Asking me. Just do the support center paper in government. So they know. Sarah, as I can remember, it was second generation. Will you remove it from YouTube? No. It's going to be there for the whole year. I can't check the answers. I did all. You have that problem. Answer sheet problem. Shape, kana parege, they do it. Is it there in the textbook, the stored? Yeah, there is. I can't remember exactly where is it. It's there in Grade 10 first lesson only, but it's not in computer generation part. It's there, I think, in that paragraph before computer generation. Yeah, Corona 2017. Hmm. Not bad. I can remember the papers I gave you. I have one, but that doesn't have answer scripts. Same problem you have. This has all the ICT past papers, but doesn't have answer script. I actually have provincial paper answer scripts. I gave it for this fellow, Mr. Umair Suleiman. That bug has all my answer scripts? Hey man, are you here? He has left. You could have told me earlier, last week. I mean, at least a week ahead, because I can get it from you on Thursday. I have all the years answer scripts I have and papers. That bug asked 2 weeks back, 2 3 weeks, 3 weeks back, I guess. Magic card, magic. Can we get this? Can you send them, please? Okay, I have it as the printed copy. My printed copy, he has it. So what I'll do is I'll get the printed copy from him back, and then I'll scan it and send you. But again, I can't do it before your exam. After your exam, I can do it because tomorrow he comes to the class at 12 after. He has my PD. I have my grade 10s with me. I think so, yeah. Then you're good to go. Anything else? Anything else? Do you have papers you don't need? You mean printed ones or PDF? I might have some. Okay. I might have, sir. I'll just check. Okay, I'll ask him to bring it come tomorrow. Bring my provincial paper book and come. Not a problem. Oral exam ka particulars. So, okay, I'll send before exam. So, I mean, once I get the PDF from, I mean, printed book for him, I'll scan and I'll send it to you. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll just scan it and I'll just make a Google Drive or I'll make a something and I'll post it easy for all of you to access. Actually, this might have some of my answers. Or resource ಗೆ ಸವಾಲ ದೇವಲತಿ. Marking scheme, science, commerce, maths, literature, English, Sinhala. Tamil history. This idiot did not put 5 seat in Kipa. Marking schemes. Marking scheme of oral papers with right in make. Then I'm good man. Open and see nothing. The marking scheme oral papers are there. See, there are. Yeah. Other subjects, I don't know. Islam, you know. It is there, I mean. Marking scheme. Did this person make short notes? That's I was wondering. You write answers and post them in Google. I can actually, if you have a very hard question, like you feel it's like so hard, do it. I'll do it. Islamic art paper Dara. This is not mine, it's my sister's. Or she is, I don't know. Nah, make a time here. Marking scheme English medium. Anyways, I'll check that later. Before I wind up, do you all have any questions to ask? Or you all can wait till the 8 more minutes and 7 minutes and good morning and go. Because we're done. I'm basically replying. Seminar was fun, is it? 10 was tiring. Actually, 10's content, I liked 10's content. It was actually very valuable for you. But the problem is the target audience who came for 10 was like very, 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 very bad. The common sense are very bad. The doubts they ask is shape. I loved with the tens. They were so weak. Yeah, they were so weak. So weak. Too weak. Not knowing the foundation basic stuffs. Actually, when I compare in reality, 10 and 11, normally 11 students are only more weak than 10. Mostly 10 students are better. This is the first time I'm seeing 11 students are better than 10. Or else 11 students are fed up of asking questions after seeing the grade 10's reaction. Either one of this would have happened. It's a fact. Correct, Navya. Maybe most of them are new. Obviously, all of them are new. The majority of those people who ask the question, I have not even seen them or heard their names even. They're not even in Rizlan's class, I've heard their names. And they all have exam tomorrow. I mean, go and sleep. I'll end the meeting in another 6 minutes. And you know, good meeting, good meeting, 5 minutes. Or are all those jobless people who does not have exam tomorrow? IT and English both are like the same. Yeah, IT plus IT is equal to maths plus English actually. The paper is easy. Whoa. Yours and Python's seminar is more about yours, is it? That bug was wait, try to off the recording. It's all out of why is my laptop stuck?